Hi guys, Tammy here from Formflex Compound with Amber. And this isn't really the order that we wanted to do this video in, but since I have this witch inside, you want to go ahead and help me. And I'll take her out in just a second. But can you kind of see where I'm going with this? Can you see the witch's
Here, let me turn
silhouette?
this off for just a second and see if you can get it going again.
Okay, so this is a censored thing. It's just like a globe, but I want to put a light in there. Okay.
A little bit, but yeah.
Okay, let me try it again. Where's the sensor? I can't let go of the witch because see there? And see how her face shows up? That's what I'm trying to go for. So anyway, what Amber did is she went in and she found this witch on the computer and she printed off. She just looked up a witch's silhouette. And I think we're going to go in and reprint it maybe a little darker, or we can paint it or whatever. And then I'm going to Mod Podge it to the inside of here. And then I'll put a light on this so that when she lights up, you'll be able to see the silhouette, okay?
Oh, put it down a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be able to see the silhouette. And then I'm thinking I'm going to put a frog maybe over here. But what I was going to show you, what this is this was $1.50 candle. Oh wait, before I go on to that, what I want to tell you is if you print something out with an inkjet printer, and I know sometimes it will bleed, this is the one thing I always, after I print something out, I'll take this out and I'll spray it with this, and you can get this at Walmart. I don't
take it
use
outside
it,
and spray it?
No, I don't use it on a lot of stuff, but I do use it like for faces. It makes your faces look porcelain when you're painting Formflex and that. But this is a really good thing. This is this is more expensive than regular sealer, okay? But it's well worth the money because you don't use it that often. So you can spray that so that won't run, because I want to try and print this darker yet, because that's just on normal. Then the other thing I wanted to show, here's what I made this out of, okay? So this is a candlestick.
I think you're going to do the Formflex too.
Right here is $1.50. Okay, I paid $1.50 for each one of these. I got them at the thrift store. And then I brought it home and I did the 2 coats of bonding boss on it. And then this right here are globes that I found at, I don't even know, it was some kind of thrift store as well. And that was $2. And usually, you guys, you can pick those up for less than that a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I was just there and I thought, okay, I got 3 of them because I want to work with them. But you can do the Formflex on it. So what I'm going to show you is, it does not matter how or what, if you want to paint your castings first, or if you want to put them on after they're dried / cured, okay? And see how I'm releasing the sides? This is really easy. If you don't have this particular mold, it's super cheap. It's a Wilton mold. You can set that over there to dry.
Pie crust, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the cake section. But if you have a little bit of extra, just clean it off before, like that, with your fingernail. But those will thaw out fairly quick, and they dry really fast, especially if you have air movement or put them outside somewhere. Yeah, and then just set them on something. So for the new people that have not used Formflex, oh no, that's just what I didn't want to do.
Here, I'm going to put it over here.
Yeah. First you want to take, I just got cornstarch here everywhere. You guys, I'm the messiest person. So you want a light dusting of cornstarch. Now I got it on that. I know better than to do this. And you just want a very, very light dusting. Not
should knock everything off. Just a light dusting. I'm going to take everything off my counter in the meantime.
It's like, holy cow. And all I do is I just use it in a snake-like position. Can you see that in the
snake-like form?
Yeah. And usually what I'll do is I do both of these at the same time. I just kind of make sure that I don't go over into the other beaded section. or I could end up with like some marks on it or something, you know, like extra. The beads won't be perfect. Okay, and then, oh, thank you. And then I'm not gonna do the whole thing there. This trim I use on everything. I always have this trim made up. And sometimes the kids help me, my grandkids do, and they make up some, and the beads aren't always perfect. So those are the ones that I keep for my projects. And then I just take my knife and just clean that up. And then I go back in, because this will pull. And I find better luck when I do the molds is to always flip my mold like so. I like to
so you're pulling it towards yourself.
Towards me. And then go back in and push it in good. Because you will, like just now, how much cornstarch I have in there. I mean, I could probably just get this out with even not putting it in the refrigerator, because it just, in the freezer, because it just wants to lift. And then a lot of times, I'll just take and run back over it, and I'll take my card and I'll push it back down again. And like right there, I can feel a low spot on that bead. And so I'm just gonna add a tiny bit. See, you can see that's a little hollow right there. And I don't want that. And it's because I have so much cornstarch in it. And I'm
just pulling back out.
Yeah. And there you go. Because I like everything to be uniform. You want that really nice flat back so you can put it together. But this is really, this is probably a mold that I use all the time. And then set it in the freezer. And you can see how I released it. And it will take probably, that mold comes out pretty fast if you want to use it quickly. And we're, here just a second, I gotta wipe the cornstarch off this before.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you needed.
So my thoughts are with this is gonna be the globe. This is gonna go on top. I'm gonna have a great big crow and a nest up here. And I'm thinking about, can you see that in there? Yeah. Putting this around it. I've tried so many different things. I'm just partial to feathers. There'll be some feathers up here with the big crow. Here's another piece, you guys. If you go to the Dollar Tree, I always go and check out all the headbands. Yeah, this is a headband piece. I've already used it, part of it, and for $1.50, you can't even buy what I've used off of this headband. And I'll just take them, see right there, you can see where it's been on the headband. And I'll take that. Anything on the headbands at the Dollar Tree works really good, okay? If you like more of a vintage look, you can do this with the tissue paper, depending on what your look, what your style is, what you're going for. But if you can picture a crow in a nest, and then possibly once we get the witch in, like I said, put the frog looking at her or whatever, you know. There's an owl. I have leaves. I'm going to put leaves on the tree and paint those. But what I'm here to show you is that yes, you can put your Formflex on after it's painted. And I'm just going to use, I'm going to trim all this out because of the look I want. I'm going to put this beaded trim. Can you see? I'll put this down. And I marked where my center is here, okay? Because this is not a really great, I mean, a great candlestick. You can see every seam. I'm sure that's probably why it was so inexpensive. Even they're from Home Goods. I seen that on it. But you can just put that on like so. These, I'm going to put the yellow on here. And then I'm going to put the green on here because of the look I want. And then I might go ahead and put the orange on the bottom. But you could do this part in glitter. I really was torn if I wanted glitter or not. But I think with my Halloween decorations and that, I think this beaded stuff will go very well with what I already have. And it's, I always mark the center because I want to know where to start. Super easy. And I'm just kind of eyeballing that and just put some glue. A lot of times because I'm such a overuser. The least amount of this that you use, the better. And sometimes I'll just put it on a piece of cardboard. Most of the time I use my fingers. And then I take cream to get it off my hands. But it will grab real quick if you don't overuse it. Okay, so just do this. I mean, you don't have to use your fingers. You can use a stick. I usually have a towel sitting right here that I wipe my finger off with right away. And this was about my center. That looks about center, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just gonna put, the one thing you gotta remember though with this stick fast is you better know where you're putting it, because once it grabs good. You're not gonna be able to move it. You don't have the playing time. And it's so easy to do when you're not on camera. It's super easy, you guys. And FormFlex cuts really easy. And then I would just add my next piece. I'm really weird about center and all that. See, I don't have enough there. I'm not gonna worry about this because I'm gonna glue. I like it when I have one, like I'll add my next piece right here and then I'll go back and glue a little bit back on there, okay? And you can put a piece of tape on that if you want.
Or you can use vet wrap.
Yeah, I was probably trying to use too little because it will slide on glass, okay? So anyway, but if it does this, I like it when it does that on the end, okay, before I add the next piece. And then FormFlex is really, really simple to cut, super easy. Measure it. You can, this is really easy to cut. You can see where your bead is there. Again, I would cut that off and then go back and trim it, because what I do when I cut this off, I'll kind of angle this piece to match this bead so they come together, because that's not going to be a full bead there. Now this is going to drive me crazy. I don't want it that much off. I just want a little bit of it off. And see, there's a well in here too. So that's the other thing. There's a whole well right here that's a void. So you kind of have to fill all that in as well. But that's, I mean, it's so simple and easy to glue that right on. And like I said, I like when one or two at the end is not glued on yet, so I can match the next piece. I already know this is going to take almost 2 full pieces, so right here when I measured it. But the other thing is also, whenever I do an antique like this, you guys, I don't do like the clear and then wipe it back. What I do is I paint my piece and I run out and I spray it with matte, and then that way I paint the entire thing. I used a black antique. Same with this, I sprayed it all with matte. I go back in, then I can cover the whole thing and then just wipe it back. Doesn't matter what kind of wax you're using, you can do that by spraying it, and it's really fast compared to having to go in and put, you know, the clear in order to wipe it back. So that's a really good thing to know. If you don't do that, it saves you a ton of time. Anytime you use matte spray, you can go right over the top of it with a wax and get it to wipe back. And these are the other 2 molds I'll be using. This one here is this, the branches, okay? And then this one here is the leaves. And I have some smaller leaves. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to use these ones yet, or if I'm going to go in and use a single leaf that I have mold that's much smaller, and I might be doing that. But anyway, that's what I was here to show you. That I did have people messaging me after the last video, and they wanted to know if you could put it on after it's painted. It doesn't matter. My best thing is to always find your center. Same way with this here, I marked off the 4 so I kind of knew where center was, where the back and where the sides were. This mold, I would love it, and I'll probably bring, I knew that I wanted the witch in here, so I'll probably bring some of this forward here. I might have to cut some of these off, and so I didn't glue this end down tight yet because I'm not sure if I'm going to have to cut it off. That's the one thing, if I think I'm going to have to cut it off, don't glue it down because you'll have to scrape it off, okay? So that's what I have for you now. We're working on another Halloween project that's really cute, and it's using some plastic pop bottles. So if you have some plastic pop bottles, you'll be surprised at what the next thing is. I know it's Christmas in July. I do have some postings that I'll put up for Christmas in July tomorrow, I think. Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. Please be sure that if you know anybody that might find this video interesting, that you share it out, and then if you would give us a heart or a like, it helps our algorithms, and we really do appreciate it because I'm not very good at doing videos. Anyway, till next time, you guys, have a good day, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye now.